Historians have long known that on July 4th, 1889, an Independence Day celebration turned tragic when a grandstand collapsed, killing one child and injuring dozens, if not hundreds, of other revelers. A newly discovered promotional poster for the event is helping complete that tale, one of a young frontier community fighting for survival and showing a knack for surviving devastating blows. Oklahoman business writer Steve Lackmeyer visited with Oklahoma Historical Society Director Bob Blackburn, Research Division Director Chad Williams, and Nicole Harvey, who assisted in the research of the story behind the poster.
At this one day, what does this really mean? There's some hyperbole in one of the newspaper articles about the fall of Babylon. You know, the fall of Babylon is, when Persian Empire came in and just took the greatest city in the world out. They felt about Oklahoma City in that event that way, the fall of Babylon. And I think that toughness would survive and be very much a part of our personality. Those of us who lived through the Second Great Depression that started on July 5th, 1982, another moment in history, those of us who lived through that recognize that, hey, yeah, there's tough times, but you got to keep going. Well, my house might be worth 50% of what it was worth 3 years ago. Hey, I'll just keep making my payments, I'll keep working, and then eventually take advantage. That's the people in Oklahoma City are pretty good about doing that, and it comes from this DNA that goes right back to April 22nd, 1889, and this event on July 4th, 1889 is just another early example of what this experience was.
And then after we pulled the chest out and opened it, they were all in packages. Everything in the chest was in packages except for some newspapers. And so you could see it, but you couldn't see it. And it was really intoxicating. A lot of things were rolled up, and we weren't sure. They were all tied, and we weren't sure how brittle they would be from being rolled for 100 years. So there were a few things like this wonderful poster that did not get opened at the April 22nd, 2013 event that we opened later when we brought it back to the History Center and found this wonderful exhibit piece. I was giddy, I guess is the word, amazed. I was just, the first thing I looked at were the colors. Today, even with our technology and scanning and everything, you cannot reproduce what looking at this poster means to you and how the colors jump out. The greens, the black is just incredible. And I just sat there thinking, there's no one that has looked at this for 100 years other than me. Really 124 years. I mean, 1889 was when this event was, July 4th, 1889, and this poster was buried in 1913 in the Century Chest. And so 124 years, no one has seen this.
We knew that the grandstands had collapsed at this event, which to some degree overshadowed the event itself. So when people had written about this, it was to focus on the fact that this grandstand had collapsed, not the event itself and the greater meaning of it. We didn't know about these posters. I think there had been some, we knew there might have been a poster, but we'd never seen it before. So finding the poster kind of gave us the jolt to kind of go in and start looking. And so what we did is we started looking at the Oklahoma Gazette, and we went through the microfilm, and we started finding all these references starting in June, which shows us that there wasn't a whole lot of planning. There couldn't have been a whole lot of planning because the land run was April 22nd. So June 7th or 8th, they form a committee, and we see on the bottom of the poster that they list the committee there. And they send these posters off to be printed in Kansas City, a company that was based out of Topeka in Kansas City. They ordered an initial run of 2,500 of them. And then they started doing the plans for the event. I think from what I can tell, they did the poster first, and then they started going, okay, so what are we going to do? I guess we'll do what we put on the poster. So they go about and they start making the plans. They go to Darlington, which is near present-day El Reno, and they go and they ask the tribes if they're interested. They advertise the Cheyenne and the Comanches. And they end up only getting the Cheyenne. They find the Arapaho will do it, and the Caddos will do it. they start going and they find places where they can have this event. They find a place outside of town, kind of where Zio's is today in Bricktown, and they have the grandstands built. They have a baseball game, and they have a parade that goes through downtown Oklahoma City. Starts on California Avenue, goes up through down to Reno, cuts across to Broadway, and goes around to what is nowadays Sheridan and Main Street. So it was a very big event. They were wanting to bring in 20,000 people. Papers of the day said they brought in 10. I think that's probably a bit generous. But it was really exciting to go in and see how excited the people of Oklahoma City were about this event, because almost every day from June until July 4th, there was a snippet in the paper talking about this event.
From our research, we haven't found another copy of it. And there wouldn't be any reason for a lot of them to survive, because most of these were put in other states, because they were trying to get people from other states to come to Oklahoma for the 3-day event, but also to get them interested in saying, hey, I want to live here, I want to move to Oklahoma. So most of these posters were in Kansas, in the north, and of course, are people going to save those? You don't know. So we were lucky enough that someone, the Woodsons, decided to keep this one, and I assume this might have been one that they had wherever their offices were for the committee that was putting this together, because I'm sure there would be one for that.
Yeah.
So.